Good evening. It's Friday evening, and I feel like I'm about to beat a dead horse, but I feel it needs to be discussed. After I watched Amberlynn Reed's video about her third ER visit of the year, I got to thinking, why did the first emergency department miss Amberlynn Reed's infection? So I thought about it, and I re-listened to the videos I did earlier today about those visits, and I came up to some conclusions which we're going to cover, and I will give my final diagnosis at the end. Now, I think the first problem was how Amberlynn Reed presented what was wrong. Now, if you remember in that first I'm going to the ER video that she posted a few days ago, Amberlynn Reed said, "Oh, I was up all night and I only got 4 hours of sleep because I'm in so much pain. And I need to go to the ER because I probably have a hernia and it really hurts. And if I have to have surgery, I can't have surgery because I'm too fat and plump." But you can't see that now because I have my hospital gown on. So I don't think the first ER was in expecting a skin infection. And I'm guessing when the doctor palpated her belly, which is when they feel for it, they were probably looking for masses and such, rigidity, and I'm guessing when they did that, they did not take the gown off or lift it up for privacy reasons, because a lot of women are really, they just don't like, you know, exposing stuff like that. Especially down when you get into the belly button and down below. So I'm guessing they palpated through the gown, so they wouldn't have seen it. And probably with her skin fat, they didn't go in between the folds and probably didn't feel it, and because they were going through the gown, they probably didn't feel any heat coming off from this skin infection. So based on what Amberlynn Reed presented to them, I'm guessing the tests were based on that. And I'm guessing that the infection was not bad enough that it was causing a significant rise in her white blood cell count. So I'm guessing that was in the normal range. Okay, infection local test. Okay, then the next day, when Amberlynn Reed reported that she was bleeding from her umbilicus, she was mad at the previous ER. I was so mad because they just blew me off because there was nothing wrong. It's serious. But during that video, when she was in the car waiting to drive 90 minutes to a different ER, and I'm sorry, if you think something is really that serious that you need to get checked, you're not going to drive an hour and a half. Unless, basically your hospital's a Band-Aid station and you know that your condition is beyond their capabilities, but she was just basically mad at the first ER. So, but when she was sitting in the car, she said, I don't notice it unless I mend or twist or move or I think about that I'm bleeding. So it wasn't serious like she was presenting on Saturday, or as serious. You know, on Saturday, you know, it's like, oh, I probably have a hernia. And I'm pretty sure that she reported to that first emergency department that she was in a whole lot of pain. And the next day it was, well, I'm only in pain when I do certain things, or think about it, or move certain ways. So she definitely did not properly report her signs and symptoms to the first emergency department. And while she was at the second emergency department, she said that she'd gotten paperwork on cellulitis, and the doctor gave that to her as a precaution in case the infection developed into that. And I'm starting to think Amberlynn Reed, oh cool, got a butterfly here. I'm gonna watch this for a minute. Okay, back to business. But I'm guessing there's a fair chances that may have been what she was diagnosed with, and she just didn't want to admit it. And the fact that she has reported that she has had cellulitis 2 times when she was a teenager and may develop it now tells me she has probably never been very good about her wound hygiene. Now I do realize cellulitis develops through an open wound, so it's basically an opportunistic infection. But yeah, you know, basic self-care. You're probably not going to get 3 or 2 infections that are going to put you in the hospital, and a third one that might require surgery if it doesn't heal up. And I think there's other issues as to why the doctor said that, but we're not going to diagnose here. So if the doctor originally in the first ER had palpated Amberlynn Reed without the gown on, you know, and looked at her skin, well, you know, even though it was supposed to be internal and not external, I think it would have been spotted. So my conclusion is I'm going to blame the ER doc at the first ER 25% for that not being diagnosed, and Amberlynn Reed 75% for not properly reporting her signs and symptoms at the first ER. Now, Polar Bear, next time you have to go to the ER, are you going to report your signs and symptoms properly? Oh yeah, because I don't want to go again. It's so expensive. Good lesson, Polar Bear.